All right, everybody, man. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all coming on time. On time means y'all was really wanting to get in this topic, so it's really dope. And I definitely want to kind of go around and kind of see just off the rip before we get into deepness and actually get more into like the video stuff. What has been your experience so far of notice or when have you noticed like, damn, this person is not emotionally available to me? What was like your first like, what was your top thing that you noticed that makes you feel like you with somebody who's unemotional? What about you, Chios?
Um, I'd rather say like the first thing that made me realize I was emotionally unavailable at one point, and still somewhat, is my inability to express like what I'm feeling directly. Like not feeling like like I want to, but not knowing how, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like how that was coming off to others was as like silenceness, like I was cold, like I just didn't care about anything or have anything to really say.
Okay. So you became cold. Okay. That definitely makes sense. What about you, Ashley?
Um, I guess like that's the problem. Like I I should have been emotionally unavailable at times and I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that wasn't emotionally available but made everyone else believe he was,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Like which was like different. It was a different type of toxic when you have somebody that is like, emotionally unavailable, but portrays himself that he is.
I definitely I can feel that. I know I've done that, but I think that's just the premises of not knowing or being taught that or really seeing it in a healthy way to let it resonate with you. Like I didn't know like men can actually be emotional in a safe way because we're not really taught a safe way. But that's more so aligned to like a man not knowing how to be open versus being vulnerable.
Well, I think that's like a part of it is like we're already taught not to be emotional.
Mhm.
So with the little bit of emotion that we do show to our partners and people that are close to us, when that gets put down, ridiculed, or isn't accepted or appreciated,
Mhm.
then you get damaged. Like it's like that last link of emotion gets like hidden off because you've been through a trauma now, so you're gonna cut that off. It's a defense. It's a mechanism of the mind. So
Gotcha. Okay, okay. What about you, Noah, my guy, man?
For me, it's like it's happened both ways. Like it's happened with me, and it's also happened with someone I've been with. I don't know. You always kind of notice it, like when you don't talk to someone for a couple of days, and like it starts to drift off, or like I don't know. It's like the spark. If the spark's not there, then it's kind of how you know. At least with
Okay,
me.
gotcha. And what about you, Zena Wins? This is gonna be an interesting video. Y'all gonna be like, damn, this is like on the button.
Um, so I don't know if I've never been emotionally unavailable for somebody because I don't know. I'll be overflowed with emotions. But in regards to people being that towards me, it was happening, but I wasn't able to identify it until later on in life. So like when I got out of my relationship, my 4-year relationship with like my high school sweetheart, when I started to date again, that's when I started to feel like that from like people that I was dating that they weren't emotionally unavailable, but I wasn't able to identify it during that time.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay, okay. And what about
If
you?
y'all heard all of that, I don't know if it broke up or not.
You only broke up a little bit, but we heard you. What about you, Brian, my guy? In the sense of being unemotionally emotionally available to somebody, have you been learning how to navigate out of that, or have you been in that now?
Yeah, I'm just now, I guess, learning how to get away from that because I felt every relationship or situationship I ever had, I was always unavailable. And I knew I was unavailable, but I guess eventually once you see that you're hurting somebody or pushing someone away and it's not right and you really want more, and you just, I guess, eventually you're gonna change, you know. So my girl, I guess, is helping me change that about me, being more available with my emotions instead of hiding and masking everything.
Got you. I can definitely say for me, I didn't. I mean, when you live in life in that regard of not being emotional, I mean, you don't know if it's right or wrong because that's all you know. That's all you know. And then when a woman, typically, it usually be a woman that brings it to your attention, be like, I don't think it's bad for me how I've been moving until they actually show you the repercussions of what happens to them when they're not having that connection or standpoint of emotions to you over time, especially how it can just deplete a relationship. I mean, a spark can go away, but it can be everlasting once you keep in tunement of that connection. So it's definitely interesting. So let me switch into the video. It's a quick little video, and then we'll get into a deeper. I know it's a white man. We got to get over it. It's the white man, but he dropping some gems. So here we go.
Jason Gaddis here, founder of the Relationship School, and I want to talk to you about how to deal with an emotionally unavailable partner. Okay, because this is what I used to be for years, and I know it was very frustrating for the women I dated. Okay, this is pretty common, all right? Emotional unavailability, what the hell is that? It just basically means that the person has closed off their heart. They're more guarded. They're shut down, they're distant, they're detached. All of that is a sign of emotional unavailability. And it could have nothing to do with you. It could mean they're really stressed at work. When most of us get stressed, we go more in fear mode and we close our heart to protect ourselves. So it could be that they're afraid about money. It could be that they're had a big life challenge happen to them and they haven't recovered. It could be that they don't have any emotional intelligence and they've been stuck this way for years and they're just kind of guarded. And the only time they become available is when they're drinking, for example. That was me. So we got to be careful about making it about us if we're with someone who's emotionally unavailable. Oftentimes it's actually not about you. You might be the trigger or the catalyst because of the way you're behaving, but still it has nothing to do with you. Unless you have hurt the person over and over and over again, then it might be, yeah, you caused harm to me. You hurt me time and time again. You yelled at me, you hit me, you left me, you broke up with me, you had that affair. Obviously, I'm going to close my heart to you if you're behaving like that to me. But most of the time, emotional unavailable partners it's just kind of a chronic low-grade thing that you have somehow started to tolerate. And your relationship is now in a stage where that doesn't work for you because you're more serious, there's more at stake. And to have a guarded, distant partner isn't cool. It doesn't feel reciprocal. Sex isn't as good, or it's not happening at all because it's hard to have sex and enjoy it with someone who's emotionally walled off. Okay, that doesn't lead to good sex or a good intimate connection. So the first thing you want to do is relax, okay? Because if you bring needy, kind of desperate, clingy energy to someone who's emotionally available, it's just going to put their wall up even more. So try not to do that, okay? Deal with your own feelings of insecurity, fear, abandonment. Deal with those on your own because that person ain't available to process that with you. Deal with it by yourself or with a coach, relationship coach, a therapist, someone like that. Okay, next, you want to communicate to them without any blame and try to see them and try to see why they're the way they are. So let's say you're with a man who's really stressed out and he works long hours and he's fed up with his job and you guys have had some crunchiness and some fighting. So he's got a lot of layers and a lot of stress going on. So this is naturally going to be a guarded dude. Okay, he's just more guarded and protected. So you want to approach him by seeing that in him. Honey, I just want to say, I know you're dealing with a lot. I know you're stressed at work. I know money stress is up for you. I know your team lost the game. I know you're really kind of in a bad place or a funk or kind of depressed. Try to see them accurately with whatever it is they're going through. And don't say, and I know you're mad about us, and I know you hate me, and it's not that shit. It's just keep it pretty clean. about their life stressors and all that's going on for them. Okay, just, hey, I see you in what's going on. And then ask if that's true. Honey, is that true? Is that true that all of that stuff's going on? Well, yeah, no shit. Okay, well, I just want to say, I think you're less powerful right now to meet all that stuff because you're closed off. It seems like you're kind of guarded and you're more in fear. And I get it. It makes sense why you're that way. But I think that's actually less powerful, because I remember you 2 months ago, 2 years ago, when you're in your heart more, meeting your challenges in life, and you were like a beast. You were like so amazing in that. Do you remember that, honey? So again, you're trying to see them in the reason they're closed off and how powerful they are when they're not closed off. All right. And then if at the end they're saying, yeah, thank you, yeah, okay, and then you just get a shared reality. Am I understanding you? All right. Well, I just want to say that, you know, it also impacts us. It also impacts us that you're less powerful right now. That impacts us, don't you think? Well, yeah, I'm more stressed out. I just drink more. I don't want to hang out. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Well, I'm invested in you getting your power back. How would that feel? To have your power back? Because that would feel good to me as your partner and someone who's cheering you on. Do you want my support here? Okay, see what I just did? I didn't make it about me and you. I didn't get into a big personal process about it. I made it about them and their life. And then later, we can start to work with, how about us? I think you're more powerful in the bedroom when you're in your heart more and you're less stressed out. What can I do to help? See what I'm saying? Okay. If you want a little bit more, go to relationshipschool.com/get him to care. Okay, if you're a woman with an unavailable man, if you're a man with an unavailable woman, it's okay, the same.
I think that's all the video he's trying to advertise. Nevertheless, man, that's interesting, right? Chios, or Noah, what was Noah? What do you get on from the video, bro?
Hold on, there's an echo on my. I'm in the same room as Chio. Hold on. No, it makes a lot of sense. Things people like, sometimes they jump to conclusions, or like they don't give you the opportunity to say like, hey, like what you really need. You know, sometimes it just be like arguments and fights and all that. You know, so I don't know.
You feeling good from it? You smile like that. That was a good little video. I know he's a white man. We got to get past that. But nevertheless, Ashley, what did you feel from it?
Personally, it just took me back to a past relationship that I was in, where I was truly deep off into a situation with somebody that was not available whatsoever in any way. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny because some of the things and the practices and the ways of conversating and navigating through that, tried all that bullshit. And what it boils down to is, I'm not saying like if y'all go through a rough time just to get the skates, but I am saying that, like we talked about I think it was our last treasure chest, like knowing when the exit plan, you know what I'm saying? When to execute that exit plan. And that was my problem. I was really deep off into someone that was not available, and it was not getting better. And there was no conversations or tactics that could have made that any better. And I just had to execute the exit plan.
For sure. And also, just to piggyback with what you said, I thought of another like secret love language. I was like, damn. So personal space is a secret love language, and also too, communication. The ultimate communicator is a secret love language as well. Women love a fucking communicator who knows how to communicate, articulate himself and everything. So I'm like, I don't think that ties with quality time. I think that's just a separate thing. So I'm like, that. So that's a good one as well. And what about you, Chios? What did you get from the video, bro?
What I caught from that was basically, well, I just agreed with everything, honestly, that he was saying. I think he could have gone a little bit more in depth, honestly.
Yeah, we can go in depth. Let's get it.
because she, as Ashley was just saying, like, yeah, navigating is one thing, but I just feel like there's other steps you can take other than just navigating it.
Mhm.
I believe that rather than just navigating, you can also, you know, suggest things to them for them to do for themselves, because it doesn't matter how much you want to navigate it. If they're not willing to navigate it, then yeah, it's just going to hit a wall and it's not going to go anywhere and you're going to get tired,
Gotcha. I can definitely say from the video myself, I mean, actually understanding more of being being emotionally unavailable to a woman. Honestly, usually when I'm in a relationship, I'm full throttle, and then unfortunately, say throughout that time, shit happens, and it's just like, look, shawty, I've been giving all that I can, and when you get to a point of giving all you can, and it's not being appreciated, or you're not seeing no growth on that part, it's like I automatically start to close off. Like, bro, it's making it seem like this is a sign of me. I'm giving so much, I'm feeling drained. I ain't got no much to give. It's like a vampire. Go ahead, Chill.
Express that like while in the relationship. I'm sure you have. Just
Well, say that again. I couldn't hear you. Cut off.
trying to bring a point out. Have you ever expressed that while you're in the relationship? Like, look, I've been giving all this and it doesn't feel appreciated. This is how I feel.
I think the thing for me is that, I mean, that's what I put in my bio. I'm a master like communicator, bro. I communicate way before shit happens, but I overly communicate now, and I realize it's not even it's honestly not really just for me. It's more so to express to women around me. Look, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going. This is why I am the way I am. And I learned that in a relationship, and throughout being in a relationship, there's levels to relationships you don't understand. You can be in a relationship for a year or two or whatever like that. When you're in a relationship for 7+ years, you've seen the evolution and you've seen the growth of y'all two separately, and also the growth of the actual relationship. And then also you just see things differently than a normal relationship would be. Or dating, it's like dating, that's too short for me to really say something. Like, bro, I'm only used to years with somebody. The only thing I know is how to project the energy from the beginning of what I want it to be throughout that time. And it's easy for me to maintain because I'm so used to being in a relationship for years. I'm growing that way. So a lot of times people are in dating, if you navigate with somebody already emotionally unavailable, it's like, bro, what stage are you in? Like, why are you already in that stage? Or better yet, even though I meet you in that regard, you need to let all that trauma and other stuff go before you move forward.
Right.
So that's just my take on that. Brian, what about you, bro? What did you get from the video?
When he was saying, with me being, I guess, stressed and all that stuff, dealing with work and all that stuff, I just never looked at it as me being emotionally unavailable for somebody for those things. But I had resided with those things he was saying about that. Like it could be anything that can cause you to, I guess, go distance on your significant other or something. So that's basically what I took from that part.
Yeah, it can be outside forces for sure. I mean, people don't. I mean, that's a big thing. People take it personally, like somebody's unemotional. Like, damn, what the fuck am I doing? Am I not good enough for your emotion? I know y'all women be doing that. But even actually, like, whoa. But what about you, Reeves? Man, I know you just came in. It's good to see you, bro. I ain't seen you about 3 or 4 weeks, brother. Reeves, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just, been they keeping me busy, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, bro.
But
What today? Go ahead, bro. Today's topic is how to navigate somebody who's emotionally unavailable. What is your takes on that?
oh wow, how to navigate somebody who is emotionally unavailable.
Yeah, that's deep shit.
That's a deep that's a complex situation. Me personally, I would say, it sounds like that person still needs to heal or do some self, evaluating if they are emotionally unavailable to figure out what it is that's within them that's blocking them from being available emotionally. That's not something that I should be trying to figure out or bringing out of that person. Either they're ready to communicate or ready to express their emotions, or they should seek either proper counseling or the help that they need in order to be whole in that area. That's my take on it.
Have you ever been the person who was emotionally unavailable, bro?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, all the time. Even more so now. I mean, because certain women are wanting more or expecting more, and it's like, well, this is, all that I can give you. You know what I mean? Right now, I've been in certain scenarios. So I'll give you a prime example of what I was going through recently and I had to get over that, just mature within myself and understand that I have to allow or give the space for somebody to even be, right? So I'm a single man, right? A black man in America, whatever the case may be. And so being a single man, when you're trying to court certain women, or when you're on the come up, it's like, you're trying to express your plans and tell people your goals and, the aspirations you have for not just yourself, but for
Just
both of
open
them.
it.
You know what I'm saying? And then, they like, well, no, I'm good, I'm cool. And then once you start to build it and they start to see the fruits of the labor, you know what I'm saying? Them peach and apple trees and them orange, they producing fruit, you know what I'm saying now? And they like, well, shit, it's looking a little green over there, my God. I wanna come to your pastures, and it's like, well, nah, because when I was, building and planting and setting the seeds, nobody wanted to stick around. But now it's fruit to be picked, now everybody want to put out a lawn chair and set up an umbrella and get all comfortable, you know what I'm saying? So now I gotta put you through some shit to make sure that you or who you say you are you even ready for this type of relationship, union, or bond. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. No, I love that, bro. That's some raw shit. That's some raw stuff to definitely think about. And nevertheless, I kind of want to flip this kind of like too, navigating with somebody. How when you with somebody, what do you feel like needs to be in place for like to be emotionally available to them? I want to flip it. Noah, what do you think is that? What do you need like to be in place for you to be emotionally available?
It's gotta be in like the right setting to where it can be some intimacy and to have time to just talk about stuff,
So what does that
without
look?
like
What
a
does that
some.
look like for you? What does that mean to you? What does
I
that
don't know,
mean?
like go to the beach or something. You go to the beach with her, you know what I'm saying? You go there, you talk about something, whatever y'all have to talk about.
So privacy. So you thinking privacy?
Yeah,
What else?
yeah,
Security? Would you say security?
yeah.
I was asking because I want to really hear your thoughts on like what do you do like even nowadays? Like what do you like?
See,
Damn.
that's crazy because I was in a long relationship, so now that I'm single, it's like it's it's weird because I do feel emotionally unavailable to a lot of the women that I see, but it's like I don't know. It's not because a lot of them are like some certain female. They're cool. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I don't like them or nothing. It's just like it's not really what I'm looking for right now.
I definitely get you, bro. You gotta have things in place. Like when I don't know, everybody been through breakups in here. It's like when you get to find
Yeah,
I need to have these parameters in place. We need to go through all these agreements, procedures. I even know who the fuck you are before I even allow myself to be like, you're kind of cool. What about you, Chios, man? What are some things you have to have in place to be emotionally available?
Um, I have to see that a person has emotional intelligence. Um, I think that's always been a thing for me, even when I wasn't emotionally unavailable, because I understand that it's very complicated trying to navigate emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, emotional intelligence has to be in place because I just don't tolerate unintelligence. It irritates me anyway. So being a person that has been damaged and being a person that does have a pretty good grasp on my emotions, it's like if I see that you don't understand how emotions work and the depths they go through, and that emotions aren't just emotions, they come from a place of experience. If you can't understand that, I'm not going to be open with you. You got to be a supportive person in general to yourself first and foremost, and then show some support towards me and what I look for and what I'm passionate about, even if it's not your thing. And then that's what makes me start feeling like, okay, I can be open and emotional with you. Because if not, then what's the point of moving forward? Because I'm just gonna put you through hell anyway, because you're not gonna be able to understand me. I'm a guy. I'm already a closed book half of the time,
Mm-hmm.
So now that you're showing me reasons not to say anything, why would I say anything at all?
Yeah, I like. So yeah, I think you're noticing why I even asked that because a lot of people don't even be in their headspace to be looking for that. Like, damn, okay, I see these things are in place. Let me go ahead, get a little bit more loose and make it more open and stuff like that. What about you, Ashley? I want to hear one perspective. Oh, go ahead, Reese.
No, I just want to say what Gio hit on, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the major, I guess, component for me in opening myself up to being emotionally available, right? Because communication is key, but it's not about the communication, it's about the comprehension. Do you understand or can you reciprocate the same energy or passion that I'm putting forth? You know, do you understand what you're getting? And so if you're not emotionally intelligent, then it's like it's not even worth it for me, you know?
Mhm. No, I feel that. That emotion, that comprehension is no joke. You can say shit 1,000 times. It's like a teacher. A teacher can say something 1,000 times different ways. A student is dumb as a rock. Bro, you got to get out of my class.
There you go. There you go.
You
But how many
got
times do I gotta say it? Like, what do I need to say
motherfucker,
to
you in the wrong class. You need to go into special ed. I'm sorry, but it got to that point. What about you, Ashley? What about you? What needs to be in line to be emotionally available nowadays after all the stuff you experienced?
You know, I'm just myself, right? Um, I'm just myself, and that's my biggest downfall. No matter how, if I've been hurt over here and I've been through this over here, you've had that breakup over there, right? Yes, I've learned stuff. I'm gonna move differently, take it, whatever. But as far as me being me, it's not gonna change. I'm not a very unavailable person within my encounters, even when I try to be. I'll try to be real short, but at the end of the conversation, I'm like, sure, yeah, I don't know, you want my IG? It's cool. You know, like, hey, I'm gonna be over here at this park next week. We can go run, whatever. I'm just like that. I'm just naturally who I am. And I think that's a part of my purpose. Um, and so I don't to just get it right where I'm trying to get it to. I continue to just proceed with me being me, and I always show who I am within my encounters because it's genuine. But as far as if you're gonna get into the depth of me, it's dependent upon you because I'm more so a watcher of what you do and not what you say. And so, it's up to you if you'll get a scoop of this fountain or not. It's just up to you.
But you basically got to a point like, I'm not even looking for nothing like that. I'm more so, if I can just be my full self around you, then you might have a chance.
Yeah, I'm goofy. Someday, like it's so weird, like you just
Goofy ain't the word. Goofy ain't the word, but go ahead.
and so I am me, you know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because when my energy's high, it's like high, but when my energy is low, it is low. So it's like I gotta find somebody that knows how to ride the wave with me. And like if the waves just sync up, then they sink. But if they don't, I'm not gonna, be trying to surfing on the wrong wave, goddamn, break my board. I'm all down. No, we're not going down. So yeah,
Gotcha.
let it
I
ride.
can, I can definitely say for me. Oh, you about to say something? G? Oh, you good? Okay. I can definitely say for me, the thing that I evolved to nowadays to be emotionally available. I mean, you guys already said it being like I need a comprehending like, yo, are you listening to my words? Because better yet, if I keep repeating myself, then you're not listening, so you're not really available to me. I feel like that's a reflection. You're not available to me if you're not listening to me. Because I'm a rarity of a man who actually communicates simple, way far in advance. What's what I'm about? Where's what I'm going? This is what I'm trying to do. Want to join? You're not join. You're not about it. You're not about it. I get it. And let's just keep moving. Are we just gonna stay surface level? Because the thing about in dating, you got to be mindful. Like when you dated somebody, you probably stay on the surface. Y'all probably just date, have a good time, have fun, and this and like that, and there probably never be no substance to it, no girlfriend, boyfriend, or none of that, or it never be no other substance to it. Y'all get married and have family. Sometimes just stay on a lower level. But you can, I don't know if you guys can, but I know for me, it's very easy to look at somebody like, nah, that ain't going no further. But I think we all learned it over time. That's just how that works. It goes to trials and tribulations. What about you, Dina Wayne, in the sense of being, what needs to be in place for you to be emotionally available?
Emotionally available?
Yeah, we flipped it.
Oh, well, when I first spoke, I said that I was always emotionally available. There's only been times, and I feel like it's been more so with friendships before like actual relationships, that I've been emotionally unavailable because I've been hurt in more friendships versus like romantic relationships. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. When I like somebody and I feel safe, or I feel safe, I I might just give them all the emotion or what I feel that they could take at that time. That's just what it is.
Okay.
But also too, I wanted to say, I didn't really hear the video, I was driving and I was breaking up.
The link is in the chat.
Yeah, I'll look into that later. Yeah, so I've been in and out. But go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. But nevertheless, Brian, what about you, bro?
You can call him champ.
Well, I'm about to say champ. What about
What's
you?
the question?
In regards to you, like, what it needed to be in place for you to be emotionally available to your girl now? Like, from all the other women you dated to this one, like, what made you be like, damn, she the one? Like, damn, you know what? I don't mind giving myself to her, all myself to her, letting her get full access to me and everything I want to do, my dreams and aspirations, breathing this life into me. I'm letting her in and everything. What made you do that? And I went deep. What made you do that?
Well, after seeing how being unavailable, I guess, was like kind of pushing the relationship away. Yeah, I guess I wanted to strive for more and be better because she wanted better from me, So I guess me looking at myself like I gotta stop being selfish and care about other people's problems and feelings and don't just push them to the side, So it just her wanting more out of me, making me see that I need to want more for myself, So just growth.
You said a deep thing. I don't know if y'all caught that, man. He said, in order for the relationship to grow or to get closer, I had to be open because I realized it wasn't her fault. It was my fault. A lot of times we misunderstood that, or we comprehend that like this is them. They not emotionally available, but they like a lot of times women are a reflection of your own actions, bro. They like, damn, I'm not gonna get deeper. You're not deep with me. Well, shawty, why you want to know? Like, cause I just want to know. All right, I gotta just tell you. I gotta let you go. A lot of guys don't feel comfortable doing that because we don't know how open are we. That's why the biggest thing that I definitely guys need to understand. What's the difference between open and vulnerable? And I want to ask the woman, like, what do y'all feel y'all need to know for a guy that y'all feel is like this is vulnerable stuff that he's telling me versus just some open shit that I can get from any guy? Ashley, what about you? You can start it off.
Oh man.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's a deep question. Y'all guys already like give it tune in. Like,
ask me one more time because I've been in some fucked up shit. So for me to, just ask me one more time.
Do you want me to answer first?
Yeah.
Okay. I think whatever is vulnerable to a guy is like whatever's personally vulnerable to them. So if it might be something of childhood or whatever, and that was traumatic, that was a traumatic experience for them or whatever, and that's vulnerable. Like, I just feel like there's levels. It just depends on the individual to me. You know what I mean? And what you're willing to open up and share. But was that
my thing is more so like, what are some things I really need to know that's like, damn, this guy's really been vulnerable to me. For like in childhood, like I told you things about my childhood. That took years, but let alone like what's openness. Like there's a level to like when you're dating somebody, being open is not enough. It's like women, y'all want that vulnerability quicker than later. But when you get older as a man, it's like, bro, I can't just be vulnerable in a woman. I've tried this and done this stuff. I've been vulnerable. And the majority of women use it against me.
majority? But then also
Majority
too, there
women.
is guys that use your vulnerability against like you.
Yeah.
Because I've had that happen as well. Like I've been extremely vulnerable with a guy and I told him about past traumas and he used it against me. Like that's happened. So you can't just say.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking in regards to all these men on here right here. I don't think we the type of guys to do some shit like that. We also open-minded, raw dudes. And the woman I'm looking at, I don't think y'all the type of woman to do that shit either. So that's what I'm asking in regards
But
to.
people are not perfect and people
Oh,
grow.
yeah.
So I know that I'm sure that at least one of these men up in here have used something against somebody. At least
Noah,
one.
he's smiling. Look, Noah.
At
Noah,
least
that nigga
one.
smiling. He's smiling.
Look, my thing is this. My thing is this. I'm very honest in the beginning. I said, hey, like I'm feeling you, but right now I'm just kind of vibing right now. So I'm not the type of guy to lie. I feel like that's wrong when you play with her emotions like that versus just living in your truth. Because I feel like that's how it's supposed to go. But hey, not everybody living like us.
Don't look over here, Caleb. The Broward County.
I'm just saying everybody has matured and everybody was a little kid at once, a little boy once upon a time. And you've made some mistakes and you've done some things that weren't right towards individuals and used things against people. Probably.
Go
Probably not even noticing, but you know, hey.
ahead, Ashley.
Give us a scenario of using something against somebody.
I can give you one. I can give you my own scenario. Okay, so there was a situation where I had a bad falling out with a handful of women, and these women were so close to me. They were like sisters. I was even in the delivery room for one of them for their first child, and I was the godmother. The falling out happened, you know, no more godmother. We don't fuck with each other. It's like Cardi B, there's always gonna be beef forever. And I finally expressed it to a guy that I was talking to. I told him the ins and outs. I told him the anxiety that I felt behind it. I told him how it hurt, you know, how it hurt me. He gets mad at me, and all of a sudden he's adding these girls on social media. And all of a sudden he's talking about, yeah, I'm gonna tell these girls X, Y, and Z about you. And I'm gonna tell them, like, basically use like my biggest, you know, my weakness at the time against me. That's using my vulnerability against me.
Just want to say that's some whole shit.
That's
It
that's
is.
definitely
Fuck
that.
that.
It is, but
You
then
need to
also
beat his ass.
too, I will say,
I said beat his ass.
I will say this: we were younger. I can say that it's no excuse. It's not like a big excuse, but we were younger.
It's definitely something to think about, y'all. On like when a woman's vulnerable to you, it ain't. Go ahead, Reeves. I see Reeves. He unmuted himself quick. Oh, okay. It's just something definitely to think about, man. Like vulnerability ain't nothing to fuck with. That's the dangerous thing with love that people don't understand. Love is the most beautiful thing when it's happening connection. But when y'all start being vulnerable and shit like that, and y'all choose to use that love against one another, that's what makes it psychotic. I like to sleep at night peacefully with no eyes open. That's just me. But you know, that's just how I be. But go ahead, Ashley. I know you've been waiting to answer in regards to for your version of, you know, when a man is open, it's cool, but then versus vulnerability, I need that. So what's what?
Those things go hand in hand, right?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's her answer.
go ahead.
Oh, okay. Being vulnerable or being open or being vulnerable. The thing about it is, it's just been so difficult. It's hard for me to even like talk about this, man. And it's only because look, this is the thing, right? I'm talking to my treasure chest folks here. Okay. There's been some fucked up times in my past here where it's like, I'm like, bro, how do I not know you got 9 kids? Like, what's going on? And that's like not even to me being open or vulnerable, but that person thought that. Like those are my private personal things. And even though I've known you for 6 months, I shouldn't have to tell you that. So it's like I've dealt with some fucked up situations like that. So for me, it's caused me to notice red flags to where it's like I'm not gonna be in those situations anymore. But I guess I got PTSD because I can't even talk about this shit.
You're still healing, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Gotcha.
Like it takes work to heal, as long as you're recognizing those things and identifying those things, and that's okay.
I can definitely say if you guys ever not noticing, women go through a lot emotionally and internally if they're not realizing that from guy to guy, the movement, being around men. Go ahead, Noah. Oh,
No, I was saying trauma's real and it affects a lot of people sometimes. That's my thing too, because I come from like, I had seen a lot of things in my childhood that like, usually like, I don't know, it's like, it's hard to get past certain things, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't want to bring that into the next situation, you know? Because it's like, I've had girls use me and play with me and all that, but if I look at the next woman like that, it's just going to be like, you know, so I try to keep an open mind about it. But,
I can definitely say for me, man, that trauma thing, I mean, Zena knows best. The thing that I try to prevent the thing that happened to me, I try to prevent it from my next, and I end up causing the thing that happened to me. I'm like, this all kind of fucked up.
yeah.
It's crazy to think about, but it does happen.
And sometimes you just need a person to identify that for you as well, because like I can say with me dating Caleb, the more he unveiled to me about his past and like his past relationships and stuff like that. I'm like, hi Taylor.
Hey, y'all.
I can say that, you know what I mean? Like he didn't realize that these things were trauma bonds or traumatic to him. And he was navigating this way because this is the route that he thought that he was supposed to go down. You know what I mean? But I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, this is not something that you need to do because if anything, you're trying to avoid this pattern that you were in, but potentially you're going down the same route.
exactly. And you know, like growing up, I seen my mom's. You know, my mom's by herself, and I seen a bunch of guys come in and abuse her, use her, and all that. So that's my thing. It's like I always respect women, even if we're not in a relationship. It's like I never hold nothing against you or try to make you feel. I'm just gonna we have to move on, that's cool. But it's like, why you gonna bring that woman down and like do all the extra shit? You know, it's like I
I
don't know.
find it interesting, especially for men that mentally abuse a woman or even physically. I find it interesting, like how they physically or mentally abuse a woman, but yet they can still eat the food that they may cook, sleep with them, still be around them. And I'm like, but you know that this person may not be healthy for you. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Survival.
And there's something that within them that might be triggering you to cause you to act this way.
It's definitely survival. Reeves, bro, what is your take on that, man? For yourself as a man, you know, how do you differentiate being open versus being vulnerable? What stages you need to go to with the woman first?
Well, I just feel like it's always on the man if he's operating in his true self to set the tone and the standard for any relationship or any type of union or bond, right? So it's just about being true to yourself. Like I'll give you a perfect situation and scenario. So courting this young lady, you know what I mean? She has a good head on her shoulders, you know what I mean? Career, could possibly understand one of the fields that I do. But she told me, you know what I mean, in an instance, you know, like, man, everything was cool, you know, I felt good, you know what I'm saying? And then um I felt intimidated. I felt taken back, you know what I mean? I felt a little less secure because you're telling me, you know, you being real with me, but it's like, well, shit, you know, now I'm thinking in my mind within my head, you know, so this is me being vulnerable. This is me being because this is who I am. This is the lifestyle that I live. This is how I plan on taking care of you if you come into this role or whatever the thing may be. And like she said, you know, I've never dated someone who I guess considered me as an option. So I had to stop it right there. And I was just like, well, I never said that you were an option, and I'm not going to treat you like that. But you have to understand the place and environment of what's going on here because I'm not, you know, typical average or, you know, what you're accustomed to. You know what I mean? And I said, this is why men do what they do. You know what I mean? Because everything was good. Like we had a roller coaster, you know what I'm saying? Great few days, great date. You know what I'm saying? We went to a riverfront restaurant. You know what I'm saying? She took me on a date too. You know what I'm saying? But as we transpired, she started to kind of take herself back. And so I had to tell her exactly what goes on. And I said, this is why men lie and women wear makeup because women fall in love with their hair. Like I could have sat here and talked your head off, gave you the best game ever, told you everything you want to hear, and you would have felt real good about yourself, right? But because I told you the truth, now you're contemplating some things within your head because you've never been approached like this. You see what I'm saying? But had I would have lied to you, you would have been all game and forward. And so I just had to break that down for him, like, because I told her this is gonna happen. You may not like what I'm saying right now, but as you dissect it and you deal with these other men out here who are living in lies, you're gonna respect everything that I said to you and how I approached you. You right? You know what I'm saying? And so that's what she kind of on the fence right now. And so that's why I'm leaving her. You know what I'm saying? But me as a man, I have to stay true to who I am emotionally and what I'm looking for within a woman or women. You know what I'm saying? And give her, you know what I'm saying? I say you may not like it, but one thing about it, I came to you, I gave you the real, I told you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to, you know, spend it. And then most important, the last but not least, I gave you the option. This is your choice. I'm not trying to convince you. You know what I mean? I'm going to lead with conviction.
I would say the biggest thing, bro, that probably women are not really used to hearing from men is a man having standards and standing by standards.
Right. There you go.
That's just the biggest thing. A strong man stand by his standards. Like, damn, I'm not used to dealing with this type of man. This man is not. I hate to say it, it's a rarity. It's
Right.
don't come often. I don't know how to deal. I don't know how to navigate or deal with this. I don't have enough
Right.
experience with this type of man. So that's
Controlling the situation narrative. And I also had to tell her, I said, see, what you're doing now is now you're starting to be combative. You know what I mean? And so if you're going to do this early on, I have to shut this down right now, because then you're going to get accustomed to feeling like you can challenge or talk to me any kind of way in any given situation. Now, there's a time and place for everything,
yeah.
right? But if you're doing this on every fucking topic, every situation, like, well, why do you do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, how many other women are there? You know what I mean? And so I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying? It's just one other woman, you know what I'm saying, right now that I'm seriously courting and dating, because we're not in a relationship. You know what I mean? Because she asked me, are there other women? I said, yes. I came out and told her the truth, because we are dating. I'm getting to know you. Are there other people? Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
But this is what I'm trying to figure out and do.
I appreciate your truth, brother. I appreciate it for sure. And it's definitely just clear to everybody, man, how, you know, a lot of strong men start to realize we have a common denominator on things. And other unique men, there's some different things that's common denominator. We all our own different mixture of how we go about it. And I think it's pretty funny, but the foundation of it all has to be strong based upon yourself. But I'm actually hearing that from a man like Reeves. How are you feeling?
It brought me back to a situation where it wasn't the fact that he had standards. It was the fact that
there was no room to add your standards.
Hey, sounds like you want to be alone, my guy. You want to be right over there and you don't want to be with me. But then it's like, once I would say like, hey, got it. It works for you, doesn't work for me. Adios. It's like, no. You're so great. Okay.
So that's
but it wasn't like, okay. It wasn't like what Reeves is saying though. That wasn't the thing. It was more so like, it was weird shit. Like, no, we don't need sound in the house at all. Like, I don't like light or sound in the house at certain hours, starting at like 5 p.m. It was weird shit for me. So it wasn't like
spectrum.
It was like weird shit.
Go ahead, Chios, what you saying?
Dating a bat? Like no light, no sound.
I think you're dating a bat.
No, I was
Batman.
Weird.
That's weird. You're right.
Yeah.
But
This was your long-term relationship that you were in?
Yeah, I was in a relationship where like literally, you know, certain foods couldn't enter into the home. Like it was a serious situation. Like it was a situation where like, okay, I understand, like you don't want to go out, but if I go out, I'm a whore. Like, I mean, my pussy's in my pants, you know?
I would say the biggest thing with that is a man. I mean, that's a thing of a man who can be strong as fuck, but ultimately don't know what to do with an ultra submissive woman. Men are not used to that either.
That sounds like insecurities though. Like if you calling a woman out her name and trying to slut shame her for just going out and having a good time, all you should say is, shit, go have fun, enjoy yourself, be safe, and make it back to me. You know what I'm saying? Like what about a woman going out makes her a slut? You know what I'm saying? Then like what Zena was saying, that's some real lame, immature shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of put her on blast with her former friends. Like what kind of fuck shit is that? Like that's low vibrations. That's low energy. That's low vibrations for me, honestly. So
that's narcissistic. It really is, and it's it's mental abuse. Like that's just what that is. Because I'm sorry, like you started dating me, and I'm wearing my little hoochie coochie shorts when you met me or whatever. Guess what? I'm probably gonna still be wearing my hoochie coochie shorts. And guess what? You call me a whore. Okay, fine, fuck it. I'll be a whore. But this is what attracted you to me. Really?
Right.
It can track attention,
but see, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I want my woman to feel, you know, sexy or whatever the case may be, or attractive or whatever the case may be, because, you know, when I'm with my women or whatever the case may be, we out in public, like shit, it's us. I don't give a fuck who watching, what they doing. Like, I'm all for PDA.
I'm sorry. I want the men to hate. I want them to hate.
Right, exactly, because I know that I'm doing my job and I got to catch as well. You know what I'm saying? And she sees it on the other side also. So when we together, hey, we together, baby. Like
We
I
attract a
ain't
lot
worried
of
about
people. Yeah.
nobody
Yeah,
else.
we do.
What nobody else got going on. You know what I'm saying? We could be
Shit.
spontaneous, whatever. I like that shit. You know what I'm
Sexy.
saying?
Sexy as fuck.
I don't, they don't know that about it, but yeah,
Like,
we can attract a lot of
it's
motherfuckers
bad.
all the time. That shit's funny.
Bitches, niggas.
Like, damn, who this girl is? I'm
I
like,
don't
yo,
know that.
watch your hands. She's like,
Oh.
this is my ass, that's my bitch. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, some women are like, yeah, you're
aggressive
not
bitch.
going home with her tonight. She's coming home with me, and I'm
as
like,
long
oh.
as I get to watch.
I'm like, oh my, you're aggressive. No, thank you, ma'am.
I like where you put that aggression.
No.
We have a good time over here. Nevertheless, moving forward. Not what you got. Nah, but you said some good things though. And like actually what a guy like that for me, it just showed, and there's just a lot of men. There could be a lot of insecurity men, but for me, it's just ultimately, bro, you don't know what to do with that gift. Because at the end of the day, a woman is a gift. A woman can multiply whatever you give to her.
But that
Submissive to you, ultra submissive to you, that's hard to find. That's a rarity to find. Go ahead, Reese.
right. No, I was chiming in what you said because that it is, but that's like a toxic form of control. This man doesn't know how to properly lead, so he's trying to create a circumstance or a scenario where this woman has to be forced into submission instead of willfully being submissive in a conducive environment where she feels safe, content, and you know, comfortable.
A woman will naturally submit to you if she feels like you are the right man.
It's real
Like
simple.
it's just as simple as that. A woman will naturally submit to you if she feels as if you're the right man. Some women got bad judgment calls, but some other women, don't wait. We all make mistakes.
As for the hand, like Final Destination.
But but the thing is, we all make mistakes. But then also too, that like there's the dating trial and error, and if there's a lot of errors, we figure out where it's like, okay, you're actually making a little bit of sense to me. You're actually worth my time. You're actually worth me saying kind of, okay, baby, yes, baby, you know what I mean? Yes, daddy, or whatever the case may be.
Gotcha.
So
let me shift to Taylor. I ain't hear Taylor voice all day, the angel of a voice. How
love
you doing,
to hear from
Taylor?
Taylor.
In regards to today's topics, what's some take on today's topic for yourself in the sense of navigating with the emotional unavailable person first? Is your service good, Taylor?
Oh, she didn't take herself off of mute.
You still on mute, girl. It
Take her
smells
off.
good. It sounds good.
Take her off of mute.
Uh-oh, I got you. There you go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, I got it. Nope, it ain't working. Go ahead. Fuck it, you got it. There you go.
Hey, there you go. I don't know why. I was pushing it, but it was putting it back on mute for some reason. But
I was doing that at the same
could you
time.
ask me okay, thank you. Could you ask me the question again, please?
I know it's a difficult question to ask. I actually had a brain fart too. It's more so I'm just taking a shot. It's more so understanding for yourself, how do you go about navigating with somebody who's emotionally unavailable? Because I want to get your raw things because you didn't see the video or anything. As a woman.
Yeah. Personally, like my boyfriend, low-key at first, when I met him, was a little bit unemotionally available. And the way I kind of navigated through that was I did my best to show him that I cared, like to be there for him and listen for him, so he didn't conceive me as like a threat or someone who would hear what he has to say and make fun of him or not take him seriously. Because I think overall that's why a lot of men are emotionally unavailable, because they just aren't really heard, or they aren't really understood, or they aren't really they don't really feel safe with the person they're talking to. They don't feel like, okay, you could also be one of the guys who I could just let loose and open up to. So I did my best to make him know, like, I was a friend who cared about his well-being, and it wasn't just about me and his relationship. It was about more than me and his relationship. It was about who he was, how I made him feel, how I wanted to get to know him, So I tried to bring it back from, like, the relationship version to more of like that friend who's trying to be here for you, open up and talk to you, more gentle and subtle, so he knew I was coming with open arms. And then another way is like the way, like the tone of which I say things. Like I had to make sure it was something that was going to draw him in instead of push him away. So if I talked about something that was bothering me, I had to make sure I checked my attitude first. So when I, spoke to him, I didn't come in correct and, completely throw off everything and make it more of a reason for him not to talk to me. So I just had to learn how to really get to know him first, so I knew how to approach him, in that softer, more gentler tone. And then the better times to like sit down and with him and talk, you know, after he's done working, when he's on the game or something, you know, like actually getting his mind calm and in that state where he doesn't mind talking. So that's kind of the way I would do things a little bit.
I have a question for you, Taylor. Throughout that time when you were putting in all that work, did you find yourself getting frustrated at times?
Absolutely, because everyone's different, of course, but in my case, it was like, it was hard for him because of how he grew up. Like hearing that backlash from his parents, it was always a negative response. It didn't matter how sweet you said it. It didn't matter who it was coming from. It was just an automatic like rehab, shoot way back into when he was super mad, frustrated, or like just antagonized over an issue instead of actually communicated with, spoken to. So I had to like do things I thought I was already doing right, like even harder, because I had to realize that it wasn't just a regular person I was talking to. It was somebody who had childhood trauma that, you know, really affiliated any type of topic to someone how he was spoken to back in the past. So I was like, oh dang, like I gotta like remember that even if it's something like I'm really passionate about, sometimes I gotta hold back my passion, because if I don't, he's gonna hear me say it with so much passion, it's gonna come off angry or aggressive or forceful instead of me trying to have a conversation. So it got really complicated for me, and sometimes still is, because it's extra effort that needs to be had in the conversation, especially with someone older. But like that's comes in, care comes in. That's where the understanding comes in, because it's not his fault. It's just literally people he loves and cherishes and was raised by, you know, talked his ear off in a negative way, and that's not his fault. Nobody can blame him for that. You know, like I wouldn't. That's rude. I wouldn't blame somebody, you know, for if my parents talk to me like that, especially if they're trying to take their time to be gentle with me. So it does suck sometimes, but that's just where you got to channel your love for someone and what really matters.
I got you. And that definitely made me trigger a question I would love to ask Ashley and you, Zena, in regards to like, and I'm pretty sure guys probably want to know this too as well. Whenever you're getting all this information from a guy and a guy's expressing himself to you, whenever you're learning this stuff, do you tend to automatically alter yourself in regards to how you communicate with him and things of the nature to make sure you make him feel comfortable? Or do you just, regardless, stay just naturally be yourself throughout him? I can't help but that from the female essence of you guys, the type of woman you are, to naturally just can't help but just make sure that I'm making sure everything is safe versus being your full throttle self. Go ahead, Ashley.
Honestly, like I'm actually very easy to talk to. Geez, like I'm the person that'll shut up. Like I'll ask you, so what are we doing? Am I just listening to you, or am I supposed to be responding? How do you need me to be here? You see what I'm saying? It's not hard with me. You know what I'm saying? It's a real genuine encounter. I can be serious when you need me to be. I can just listen. We can not talk about it and talk about it tomorrow. I'm a very open environment for a very open and welcoming environment for you to be vulnerable with at any moment. And that's just it. Like I said, it comes natural. Like I said earlier, like I don't let traumatic experiences or things of that nature affect me, my character, or how I move out here. Like you gonna love this.
That was a crazy ending. Okay.
I feel like for me, I feel like I'm also easy to talk to as well, but I am very mindful about how I may be approaching the situation. But I make sure that even if I'm being like my full throttle self, that might be overbearing or overwhelming, I just want to reassure that person that whatever information that you have given me or whatever, it's safe. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I try to make sure I'm reassuring that person that whatever you tell me, okay, but it's safe. Like, it's not going to be used against you. It's going to be maybe talked about a little bit further later on, maybe, but if you're telling me something and that's just something that you may want to express or whatever, the floor is yours.
Gotcha. Cheers for everything all the women said so far, man. How you feeling, bro?
Yes. Feeling is actually I got a lot. Let me sit up this. Okay.
Night night. He remind me of Gilbert. Night night.
Let me see that.
He remind me of Gilbert when he's going to sleep.
Right. Is Noah asleep too?
Nah.
Okay.
We're switching like places so that way there's no echo and all that.
That's fine.
Okay, so where do I begin? All right. Well, I'll start by saying one of the things that helped me come to the realization as of recently. First, one of my homegirls pointed it out to me and was like, would you consider yourself an emotionally unavailable person? Because she was learning that about herself, in fact. Actually, I don't know how to say it. Wadney pointed out to me. She asked me that question because she was navigating that for herself. And then now like one of the closer women to me, she pointed out, which this really helped me really notice it, because when Wadney asked it, I didn't even really realize it, because I was like, I don't think so. But I was like, I had a little introspective time, and it just so happened this other girl, she said it to me. She's like, you're not, like, you speak very monotone. And I hadn't realized it because, when I'm on here, I don't think I really sound very monotone. Like, I might have moments, but, I'm a pretty expressive person. And that's when it occurred to me, like, wait, maybe I am being emotionally unavailable because I'm masking it so much that I don't even try to speak with emotion. I don't emphasize any words. I don't pause. I just go through the story like this the whole time. It's like, I don't want to even show that, you know what I mean? So I think that one thing that could help is point that out to, whoever you're dealing with that you see or feel is being emotionally unavailable with you, is like, instead of being so direct about it, because see, we're on the topic and it's so hard for everybody to really get it out in a clear and concise way because it's so complex. So it's better to really point out like, hey, I noticed you're not really speaking, like, you're not really expressing much with your words. Like, I get what you're saying, and I definitely know you feel something, but like, it's not really coming across clear when you speak, or, it pointed out like, hey, I know you're frustrated, and, I can see it on your face, but, if you need to speak, like, make that safe space for them. You know what I mean? And then let's see, towards Ashley, like, what I was going to say to you is, I think one thing that could help you is navigating the experiences you've had with those emotionally unavailable men, and then seeing how that trauma, because see, there's this thing where when we go through trauma, especially if something of that caliber, we don't notice it, but we tend to also show those traits because it's the way that we defend ourselves when we're stuck in a situation with somebody else. So if you can go inside and be introspective for a little bit, you might notice certain things that, like, maybe you have less patience for or distaste for now, that you've written off as a distaste, but as you look more into it, you may find that it's actually a form of emotional unavailability, because it's not as simple as, oh, I don't express sadness or anger. It's, I feel sad, or I feel angry, or I feel happy or excited about something, and I can say that, but how do I really act upon that? How do I show that to the people around me? How do I show that to myself? You know? And it's not going to be across the board for every single emotion. There's some emotions that maybe, the good emotions, the good feeling emotions are probably easier. The bad ones are going to be hard for you to express, possibly if, a man that you've been with has, manipulated you or abused you based off of those emotional feelings. Z, I remember you were saying that you haven't really been emotionally unavailable yourself, but you've dealt with some people, especially friends, that have been emotionally unavailable, correct?
No, I was saying that I find myself being emotionally unavailable towards like new friendships versus like romantic relationships.
Yeah, that's two different things. Yeah.
Right. So then I have a question then before I continue. Would you say that men have been emotionally unavailable with you though?
Yes, I did say that. I said that in the beginning. I said that They were, but I wasn't able to identify that at first because when I first started dating, like actually going to the dating world, this is when I was like 21, 22. And I was always wondering, I was like, why are you so cold? Like that's why I kept calling it. I was just like, why are you so cold? Like, damn, like why are you closed off? But later on, I noticed it was just because of them being emotionally unavailable. I'm not sure if you guys remember that story about the guy that had a mom that had
Yeah.
cancer. Like, yeah, like that's a wild ass story. Just long story short, everybody, this guy I was dealing with, his mom had cancer. I'm asking him questions. We're dating, we're hanging out, we're having a great time. But I'm asking him questions about like his just his family and his background, and then come to find out, next you know, boom, on social media, rest in peace, mom, I love you. And I'm like, huh? Like me and you was hanging out yesterday, but your mama passed away. Like that's a fucked up situation, right? But anyways, so
Did you find yourself after that relationship, did you find yourself being more curious about a person's family background?
I've always been curious about a family background.
Yeah, but did you feel like it sparked something in you to be a little bit more curious at all?
No, I've always been. I was asking this man, he was just not.
He just never answered.
He
So
was
it didn't change.
never answering. He just told me he had brothers, he had a mama, daddy wasn't in his life. That was it. And I'm like, well, tell me more. But he would not.
You definitely said a key thing, Chio, was about, and people probably didn't catch it, but like there's headspaces of emotional unavailability. Like, damn, you said dating, and then there's like friendships, then it can be like business.
Well,
like,
I think it comes off the same way though, right? Because a person being emotionally unavailable, from what I've understood thus far, is not based off of if I'm romantically involved with a person or not. It's more about the fact that, okay, I have experienced damage while expressing these emotions, or I haven't even found a way to express this. Like, one of my hardest things to express, I have moments, but I have not been very clear about it, is when my mom passed last year. I'm still processing that, like I'm still at bit by bit, and it's going to take me time.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's a friend or a lover, it does not matter. It's going to be hard for me to really get into detail about it. It's just as of recently that I'm able to really sit down and talk about it. In fact, that's part of the reason that I like decided to take the path I'm taking right now, so I could process that the proper way, which brings me to, I guess, my final point where I, go quiet for a little bit. You have to, when you're processing things, when you're processing emotions, or you see somebody that's emotionally unavailable trying to process emotions, it's very important to understand that it's probably because they don't actually understand what they're feeling. Like they genuinely don't even understand it. So rather than trying to get the answer out of them or the reasons for it out of them, like, not justifying what that guy did, but, of course, he like didn't tell you about it, but he was probably like trying to process, damn, my mom's dying. And he
No,
didn't even,
I didn't take, and I don't need to interrupt you, but I didn't take it personal because that is like, I mean, cancer is one hell of a thing. Like, and you just don't know. You just don't know how the family's reacting. You don't know what's going on and everything like that. So I can say like I was very mature about the situation, but I did tell myself like, damn, that's unfortunate that he possibly didn't trust me with that information.
right.
Oh, go
So
ahead.
that's exactly what I'm like. That's exactly my last thing. I swear to God. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like that a person processing that, like it feels that way. It's like, dang, I thought you could trust me. It's not that I don't trust you. It's not that a person doesn't trust you. It's simply that they don't even trust themselves to be able to get that point across. So at some point when that continues to cycle around, they end up just going mute, silent. They try not to express it in every way possible. And the more they get into that rabbit hole is the less they express things and the more unavailable.
The more they get deeper and deeper. I definitely feel that. I appreciate you saying everything, brother. You went in. He got out his lay down to sit up. And what you was gonna say, Ashley? I know you raised your hand.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like when I said earlier, right? Okay, why are you dating? If you fucked up, you fucked up. Like, what is going on?
I think it's loneliness too, actually.
Okay, bro, get a puppy. Like, the thing about it is, when you're emotionally unavailable, you're toxic, you're doing all these things, those are times you need to be by yourself. You need to fucking do some innerness so you can be good. How you gonna be good and be with how you not gonna be good and be with somebody else?
Right. There you go.
You gotta be whole.
Go ahead, Reeves.
No, I mean she hit the nail on the head, and that's I think I said this a while back on one of the last sessions. But like, if you can't enjoy your own company, how can you expect someone else to enjoy your company? You know what I mean? I spent years just being single and developing myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I always had like a standard. I just see people jumping into something or rush into something just because they like things they said it like some people get lonely, you know what I mean, or some people have needs, you know what I mean, and so instead of clearly expressing that, they trying to bend the mold where they think this person might like or want, so they can get some whatever, that's how it goes. That's a cycle because that's again that women listen to what men say, you know, and that's why women wear makeup because men like what they see.
It's important.
Oh, go ahead, Jill.
It's important to spend that time alone. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do want to point out, yes, as a person, you have to understand you have to compartmentalize those two things. A person being emotionally unavailable doesn't mean that they necessarily need to be alone. In fact, they need to be around people. You see what I'm saying? They may not be ready for a relationship. And if you notice a person is emotionally unavailable, yes, you should take it slow if you are interested in them and see potential in a relationship with them. But it does not mean they should be alone or isolate themselves or stop dating because again, that's going to put them more into that. It's more about them getting back out there, getting more acclimated, which is why to have this conversation of navigating it because it's not for you to fix them, it's for you to understand if you really see potential with a person and you are with them that you should take the time to understand that they are working through that in their own time. Like we always speak about, a person must still remember their individuality and singularity. That's a whole nother complex of the mind, another psychological thing of being clingy or obsessive. You see what I'm saying? That goes into its own pocket. But emotional unavailable mean
Can
you
I ask a
should
question?
date.
Go ahead, bro. Go
No,
ahead,
because you said a person shouldn't be alone, because they could get. So is that person like soaking in the problem, or are they self-reflecting and going towards like the solution? Because it like I think you can do like one and the same. Because how can you give somebody your complete self if you still trying to heal the damage that's internally within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of exuding a positive love that you can fully give and control. You know what I mean?
Maybe this is just how I think. I can't say this is an absolute. Um, I think of it as sparring is training. You see what I'm saying? If a person becomes like emotionally unavailable because of a traumatic experience, right? And that is the reason you think, oh, you're not ready for a relationship. You shouldn't be with, right? What happens when two people are together and their cousin died and they're emotionally unavailable and you get together with this person and that's how you look at it, right? So you leave them alone, but then down the line it works out again. You're married now. It's 5 years down the line. Their mom dies. What do you expect? You expect them not to be emotional? It's going to be worse. It's not their cousin anymore. Are you going to? Are you
Well,
going
I
to work?
think that's a different circumstance or a scenario. You already invested
I,
and established with the person because you know how this person reacts. So you should know how this person reacts into certain situations or how this is affecting this person emotionally. So you can give the person the proper space and also create a safe space for them to move forward and process that emotion and what they're dealing with themselves as well. But as far as like coming into something when you're still dealing with it, now that's a whole nother can of worms. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of what I was hitting
right.
on. But like if that person becomes unemotionally available due to a circumstance that transpires when you guys have already established or a relationship or some type of base, within each other, then that's different. You should know how that person is feeling or reacts, even if they are emotionally available, and be able to give them the time and space in order to come back to them normal selves, you know, because it's just a circumstance that occurs.
Got you. They're definitely going some raw stuff, man. And you said a key thing earlier that I'm curious to see what the women are going to say in this regard. Do y'all feel that saying is still vivid because this is a new era of women as of regards to women still fall in love with what they hear and women fall in love with what they see? Do y'all still feel like that's relevant? We can start with you, Ashley.
You said women fall in love with what they hear and men fall in love with what they see, or
What
women?
they see, yeah.
Oh, men.
You like what Reed said? Like, do y'all feel like that saying is still active nowadays, or has it changed?
You know, that's the thing. We haven't changed. We're still the same two species, right? I don't think it's changed. And I hate to say that, right? But that's just how I feel. Sorry.
Got you. What about you, Zena? Oh, go ahead, Noah. Go ahead, Noah.
Oh, here, Noah.
No, I was gonna say I feel like I could like what I see, but in order for me to love you, there's gotta be more to it. It can't just be you can't just be good looking, you know, it's gotta be like some value to it, you know.
More
Behind some substance, yeah.
But what if it's ugly as fuck? Like, what if it's real
But
ugly?
that's such a great person, right?
But that's your type, but that's an ugly bitch.
I mean,
Wow.
like obviously I want my woman to like I want to be attracted to her too, so that's an important part, you feel me? But you know, she can't be ugly now, but you know,
You can't have it all.
Hey,
Yeah.
I tell Zena that she know when I see a skinny girl, I don't care what the fuck a price I do. Don't touch me.
It's
like,
so bad.
I don't like it. I don't like a skeleton bitch.
So
I don't like
y'all
that.
have you guys seen Dope, the movie Dope?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Okay, so when the little girl got naked and threw up on him, he was talking so much shit about
I
her.
was like, what?
It was so bad.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, Kayla, like, it's okay. But he was talking shit. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I just don't like skinny ones. It hurts my feelings. But we're gonna move forward. It hurts my feelings. She could be the most beautiful girl. Oh my God, no. Hi, ooh, handshake, shawty. I gotta give you a handshake. Too close to that. But Taylor, what about you, Taylor? Do you feel like that saying is still relevant? You know, women fall in love with what they hear and men fall in love with what they see.
Oh yeah, because that's why they tell women not to say what you like in a man. That's why they tell women not to tell men what they like, because men will sit there and listen, like, oh yeah, she's gonna tell me all this game, she's gonna tell me exactly what she likes. I can sit here, do the mannequin challenge, and act like I'm that nigga, and then turn around after I get everything I want, you know, and be the real person I am. So I personally think women do easily fall. Not easily. I mean, it's different for every girl, but most of the time, women fall in love with what we see because we're all about that action. Women are all about that action. If our words, it doesn't matter. Most of the time, most women, I'll say that because not all women are perfect. But most of the time, when a woman says something, she means it wholeheartedly. You know, and more than 9 times out of 10, she's gonna do it before she even tells you, because that's what she literally means. Like she's encouraged to do what she tells you she wants to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
But
go ahead, Ashley.
It's different with men. It's like they say it and they won't do it. You know, and it's good because it's an indicator that shows women more of who men really are. You know, monkey see, monkey do, or you know, it's not about what you say, it's about what you do. So, I mean, it's a good indicator that we have to look forward to. But if you're not aware as a woman, you can easily fall for what a man is trying to show you in the beginning stages or impress you with in the beginning stages. Like, I think you probably wholeheartedly believe. I'm a woman who believes you need to see a man at different phases of life before you can wholeheartedly think you know who he is or commit to him 100%. Because a man could be different when he's winning. A man could be entirely different when he's losing. A man could be different when he's supported. A man could be different when he's on his ass. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing. Like a nigga, I'm sorry, my bad.
You good? We ain't got no white people on here. We ain't got no white people on here. I know a little suspect, but we ain't got no white people.
Okay, man, yeah, I just pick up the dome, but like legit, like a guy can be one person at first, and then as soon as you like really move out that environment with him and like move on to something different, he could be dealing with a completely different nigga, and that's what sucks because like it's not anyone's fault. Shit happens, but like the fact that people can legitimately lose 100% sight of what they gave you, the life they were giving you, the experiences they were giving you when you first fell in love with them, from like what you're doing, what you're living with now, like. It sucks because it's like, damn, I feel like I got bamboozled. Like, I thought you were this guy, but really you're not. Like, you had all this. backing you up to
You
give you
know
that
what?
image. But you know,
Taylor. So for me, maybe because I'm like, oh, not older, like I'm not that old, but just been dating for a while, whatever. I feel like men tell on them, well, the men that I dated, they tell on themselves before we even get to like a certain point.
yeah,
So I'm
that
like,
too,
you know
sis.
what? You were courting me hard and you were showing up and showing out, but then
Yeah,
when you get something that you want or you feel that you may not be getting more or whatever, that's when I start
yeah,
to see those shifts.
exactly. I feel you on that shit. That's a big part for me too. Is like
Ashley,
just seeing how they move.
Ashley,
Right.
what you was about to say? I know you was about to say something during Taylor talking. Are you good? Okay, cool. So,
Well,
Brian, go ahead, Reeves. Go ahead, Reeves.
no, I just wanted to hit on the end part, on what Zena said because or what all of them were saying, really, and I think it's something that's goes on both ends, and it's about communication, but also being emotionally available and communicating. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, just give them a nudge, like, hey, we haven't been out in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like chilling or whatever like that, but I want you taking me out. It's nothing wrong with saying that. Like, a woman just be like, why should I have to tell them or whatever the case may be? But man, we can get sidetracked or we can start focusing on something or we because we ask sometimes, yeah, you good? Yeah, I'm good.
And
You
Reeves,
know what I'm
you're
saying? But then we
absolutely,
get
I will
talking
say
to
this,
something like Ashley said, this nigga ain't took me out in such and such weeks, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the other week or two ago, but you know what I'm saying? So it's just about both communicating it and keeping it how it was in the beginning on both spectrums. You know what I mean? Because I think both of us can do a better job, and sometimes us as men we kind of slack off on how we was. Hey, I'm attacking. I'm trying to win her over. You know what I'm saying? Versus, okay, we sell into a role now. You know what I'm saying? This is where you know what I mean? So sometimes we get sidetracked or we get, tunnel vision on what we focusing on, and we forget about some of the important things sometimes. So that's why our better half is there to kind of remind us and say, hey, I'm missing this right now. You know what I
so what
mean?
about the women that actually do like communicate this? Like, hey, you're not fucking up, but like, hey, like, can we go on a walk? Like, we used to take walks every Friday into the sunset and shit.
Ignore it.
Like, but they don't want to do that or whatever. Or like they kind of just got over that hump of like, they got the booty, they got, you know what I mean? They got all of that or whatever. So it's like, well, shit, I don't need to court you no longer. Like that's what I'm saying. When the women are communicating versus the man that's like, because I've dealt with men that are busy or whatever, and I respect that. I respect the man's hustle, absolutely. But what I'm not okay with is that if you're courting me and you're dating me or whatever, and you're not hustling that much, but you forget to date me, not my cup of tea.
Right. Well, at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, looking at both spectrums, you know what I'm saying? Because you communicate that. So again, not only communication, is there comprehension, right? Is this person comprehending what I'm saying? Because you can say it 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways, and it's
Right.
still not get done. And also being able to take action, but still being in a submissive role, like, hey, I planned something for us. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to know if you were down. We're born with it, you know what I mean? Because women have taken me on dates or whatever the case is. Well, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, this is what she like, and then I pick up on it, and then I start planning and surprising, and she's like, okay, he paying attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's about uh, uh, reciprocation, and also again, the third one is, are we being reasonable? Because it's a time and place for everything. Like, if this man is busy, does he make up for it? Like, oh, I know I didn't take you out well, but pack your bags, we're going on vacation. You know what I'm saying? 3 day back. You know what I'm saying? Like, how often does that happen? So is there? You know what I mean? Like, it's the con and the pro. Like, does the good outweigh the bad? And what is the trajectory or the focus or the priorities that's
Sure.
taking place?
Every dating, anything, you always got pros and cons, and nothing is
do.
perfect. It just doesn't exist. That's just what it is. So when you get older, you start to realize that in a relationship, like, all right, or any dating, like, all right, look, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I can see if I can accept it or not. Better yet, me trying to figure it out, you can express it to me. That's even better. That lets me know you have emotional intelligence. Better yet, you know yourself and you know how to express yourself, and that's a sign of healthiness. But nevertheless, Noah, man, what are some of your key takeaways from Treasure Chest, brother? What are some things? So, you ain't never been here, but
Welcome, Noah.
I'm here now. You already know. But I just learned that, like,
Actually.
Ashley, what was that about?
Say what?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying communication is good, you know, because it's like I've been in relationships where it's like they want you to guess how they feel and they don't want to, you know, take some time to talk to you. They just want to assume stuff, you know what I mean?
I call those princesses. Those are not queens.
I
Yeah.
call that women.
Princess.
Yeah.
Women.
I'm still waiting for that woman to be like, hey, let me take you on a little walk real quick. Like, that's
She take you on a walk.
No, like it's actually insane. Like during 2020, you know, the world was shut the fuck down. Like it was really shut down. And like my ex, like I was trying to figure out different things for us to do because the things that we were doing in regards to our dating was being out. You know what I mean? If that means going to karaoke, going to bars, or whatever. So I got to a point where I was trying to be creative and like, let's do paint and sip. You know what I mean? Let's support this black business, buy, you know, this paint and sip little kit and do it like that. And it just got to the point, oh, that's boring. I'm not into that. Okay, well, let's go on this walk and let's do X, Y, and Z. Like and then he's like, oh, I'm not a walking nigga. He told me that one time. So like, yeah, like you see, that's why he's my ex now. Yeah. Oh yeah, walking nigga. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm a skipper.
Yes.
I'm a bopper.
Yeah.
I'm a skipper. Hopscotch. But no, but nevertheless, man, what is your key takeaways, Noah, man? We're gonna go ahead.
My key takeaway is like it was something that was said earlier about like not standards, but like having that like if I meet a woman, like I really want her to be on my level, you know, so we could build with each other, not just like waste time, you know what I mean? Because it's like if I want to just smash, I could go wherever, you know, but it's like what we really doing, you know?
Got you. Well, I appreciate that.
My question to you, Noah, do you put out your intentions and what your level is? Because there's a lot of levels.
Yeah, that's something I've been struggling with. I mean, I've been real honest about it, but at the same time, I've been kind of closed off. I'm more working on myself right now, but so it's a journey, not a race, you know?
It's a marathon.
He said it right, journey.
It's
a journey.
marathon.
No, it's the same thing. Journey more
CMC, man.
What about you, Brian, man? Your key takeaways, brother? I know you're laughing at Ashley crazy ass. What? Brian, my boy.
He's driving.
My bad, my phone in my pocket.
Oh, okay. What are your key takeaways?
I actually don't have a key takeaway. It's just I'm trying to take in everything what everybody's saying, you know. So tonight I actually don't have a key takeaway. Just so much to take in.
Has this helped?
I'm just trying to, you know.
Has
What'd
this
you
helped
say?
you with not being so closed off when it comes to like your to your relationship now with certain things?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well that's the most, you know, that's something better than nothing.
Got you. What about you, Taylor? Taylor Woods, T-Dubs.
Hey y'all, I learned so much today. I mean, I wish I would have been able to hop on a little bit earlier so I would have got the whole gist of everything. But I learned that it's really important, you know, just to make sure you're super observant of a person, you know, in the first few stages and, you know, continuously take your time. Like, personally, for me, I don't like to date anyone until I've known them for at least a few months to years. Just because being friends are always better before you hop into a relationship. You know, you can really get to know if you're compatible with the person. Y'all can work together. Y'all can build each other up. Y'all can support each other, actually care about each other's well-being over caring about what you can get or receive from one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I look for. So just making sure you're super observant and listening and communicative to the person that, you know, you might be considerably interested in developing a relationship with. Just so you can keep your peace and make sure they're the best applicant for you at the time and you're the best applicant for them. You know, you don't want to step into something that, you know, is too unemotionally available for you or just too unstable entirely in general to help you at least grow as a person. So just take your time with people, develop friendships, get to know one another, and yeah, treat and love on people the way you want to be loved on.
Love it. I love to hear it. Love to hear the gems. I know for me so far, man, it's definitely been like, honestly, I said a lot of key takeaways. I'm gonna let it digest. What about you, Reeves, brother? Man, welcome back.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna keep it short. I know I'll be talking too much sometimes.
Hey, go ahead, bro. Go for it. You good?
Long story short, I learned that although I'm very emotionally intelligent, I still have a long way to go when it comes to being emotionally available.
You say you still have, say that again? That was interesting.
I say, although I'm very emotionally intelligent, I still have a long way to go when it comes to being emotionally available.
Okay. That's deep. That's deep as shit. What about you, Chios?
I would say my key takeaway for tonight is that, well, Reeves really said like exactly what I would have said, to be honest with you. And to add to that, I guess I would also say another key takeaway I got was everybody's at a different stage, due to their own personal experiences, and it's important to understand that, because I feel like majority of the people around our age group, a little older, a little younger, and exactly our age, all have experienced things that leave us slightly emotionally unavailable in certain ways, or emotionally guarded at least.
I like that. I can definitely say that the biggest thing to my takeaway is that your experience, how you express yourself definitely reflects your experience of relationships or just dating, but even more so how available you are expressed to me how experience you have too. Because some people who's too available just let me know they haven't experienced a lot of heartache or haven't experienced a lot of shit yet. For them to understand they need to guard themselves. You can't just be openly available to anybody. You have to know the grounds and the safety of this person. You got to see them seasons up and seasons downs and how they go about talking about people. Because you know, how somebody talk about somebody says a lot about what they're going to talk about with you behind the scenes. So sometimes I even test people, like give them a little thing, like, yo, what do you think about this? And like, oh man, that bitch. I'm like, oh, let's see, I knew this. I knew this was a ratchet one. I knew it. You know, set her ass up for the loop. But it's just more so guys. I mean, real talk. I mean, women give all these guys tests and shit like that. I'm testing a woman from the moment we made eye contact. I'm like, is she gonna look away first? No, she's staying kind of hard. She's scaring me low key because she's still looking at me. I don't know what to think about it. Like it's just little shit like that, you know. I'm on that type of stuff, psychotic shit. Anyway, Ashley, what about you, bro? What about you?
My key takeaway, honestly, after listening to everybody talk and even that video of just like how to navigate that, you know, within a relationship, made me realize that I just can't. The only thing I'm not available for within a relationship, no matter what form that is, whether it's intimate, friendship, whatever, I'm not available. Well, more specifically, intimate. I'm not available for you if you're not emotionally available. As I'm saying, entering in, not like, you know, we go through shit but even when we go through shit, if I find that that's just not something that I can ride with, I'm out. And it's not nothing to do with you, and it's not that I'm a runner. It's more so like, hey, I realize you're going through some shit. Unfortunately, I just don't have I'm not capable of being here within this because of my own psyche and situations and what I am. So best of luck to you. I know counselors. I don't want you to be alone, but I'm not your therapist. You see how that go? So yeah, I just realized like I'm not available for someone that like that.
Start to realize you got to protect yourself from those who are unemotional. And once you identify that, it's like, I don't even want to deal with this. I want to have somebody who's not to say ready, but somebody who just, bro, we ain't gonna deplete each other.
And you know what else? It's like, sometimes it's a personality trait. Even you find that this person, like, they shut down when they go through shit, right? There's some people that are like that. There are some people that when they go through shit, they want soup, their favorite teddy bear and their boobies, right? Whatever. Like, there's different people, right? And if you're one of those people that are shut downer, you're not available and things like that, you're a great person. It's nothing bad about you. It just doesn't work for me.
It doesn't serve you.
What are your key takeaways?
Well, I wasn't even ready for you to ask me
I
that.
mean, the last one.
Am I? Damn, everybody went. Yeah. That's right. Well, I mean, I feel like I just feel like you have to have a lot of discernment whenever it comes to identifying those kind of like emotionally unavailable individuals. Like that's just how I feel. But I feel like, unfortunately to say, it may take trial and error. It may take time. It may take growth. It may take, you know what I mean? Like you going through some stuff and kind of having to fall a few times on your ass to be able to identify that person later. But also too, patience with that individual and patience with yourself as well. So that's, I guess that's my key takeaway. Like, you know, you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall, but that's okay. Just be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, possibly give that person grace and give that person patience and go from there.